Testing 1, 2. Have I got audio here? I think it's working. Trying to figure everything out here. I think we're live. Welcome into the latest live vlog. I wanted to do an update on the old Intel NUC. Do you remember this? I built this back in April of 2013. Let me just give you a little close-up. This is an Intel NUC. And if you want to see me build it, the link to me building this is in the video description below this video. And it's been over 5 years now, and I've never done anything to it. I haven't repaired it. I haven't upgraded any RAM. I haven't upgraded it's the original M-SATA drive that I put in back before M.2 days. Nothing's changed. I've got the wireless keyboard and wireless mouse dongles plugged into it. And I thought we'd give you an update on longevity. The problem with too many with the tech reviews that are out there is they review a product, they have it for, a few weeks, and they typically send it back to the manufacturer, or, if you watch any of these videos, they have warehouses and shelving units of parts right back in the box. They don't use them every day. The expression is they don't eat their own dog food. This is my wife's computer. I've given it to her, and she uses it, well, it's hers, and she's been using it now for over 5 years. This is August 14th, 2018. The video was published on April 20th, 2013. So over 5 years, and it's going strong, no problem. So let's plug it in, and let's see what the boot time is on this compared to maybe something you've got, maybe even something new. You might just be surprised. So I've got a power cable here. There we go. So I'm going to plug the power cable in right here, right? And then I'm going to plug a HDMI cable in, which I have right here. All right, now let's see if we can get you a little picture-in-picture action going on here. I got to use the right keyboard, and every time I do this, I have these different keyboards, and I always grab the wrong one. Let me go to, let's see, I think that's the one I want. Okay, yeah, so we should be now on the NUC. I haven't turned it on yet. If you want to start your stopwatches, here we go. I'm going to turn it on now. So the light just went blue on top of the NUC, and I think I've updated the BIOS on it. I haven't checked it in a long time, but since I've built it, I'm sure I've updated the BIOS at least twice. Here we go, and we're almost there. There it is. There's the desktop. And as you can see, it still boots fast. It's reliable. It was a good purchase. Very reliable. Now, some people may wonder, what's the point of following up a review 5 years later when you can't buy the product anymore and it would be considered obsolete? Well, this should give you an idea of the types of products the manufacturer makes with regards to longevity. And if there were any problems, I would report to you if the problems were resolved expediently and with care and concern from the company. Because every company has a bad product. It's really all about how the companies respond when you have a problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this PC back off. I'm going to just hit the power button here and shut it down. And I'm going to open it and show you I haven't changed anything. If you compare the innards to this, they better match the video I made. That's all I can say. Sorry about that, I had to turn that off. So let's just go ahead and disconnect the HDMI and power cable. And let's open this up. There's just 4 screws on the bottom here. It's been a while, I have to remember how to open this. There's 1, 2, 3. Hello to everybody in the chat. Is that a Logitech Marathon mouse? Yes, I love the Marathon mice. The batteries last about 2 to 3 years. 2 years to 3 year battery life on 2 AA batteries. I can't tell you when I changed the batteries out on this. It's over. It's been a long, long time. I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a long time. And let's see. Come on. Come on. There it goes. All right. This may look familiar to those of you who saw the video 5+ years ago. If I can get the camera to focus on it. Let me turn it the other way. These are all the original parts. I'm going to run crystal disk info on this SATA drive and see how many hours it's got on it. Again, I've never seen a solid state drive fail. Not yet. But you know what I need to do? I need to blow the dust out of this. And I know what you're thinking. You're going to use a leaf blower on that little thing? Well, I'm going to use a little leaf blower. Come on. You kidding me? Let's try it. Make sure I got enough cable. Oh, it's getting me in the face. Oh, it feels pretty good. I'm having good hair today. That's the world's smallest leaf blower right there. Right by the world's smallest technician. Ooh, look, I'm a model. Sexy. All right, I think that ought to cover it. It's so stupid. I'm sorry. I had to do it. I had to do it. Come on. What a waste of money that was. All right, so let's go ahead and boot this back up. Let's run crystal disk info on there. How did this go back on? Did it go on like this? Or does it go on like this? Or did it go on like this? Oh, it's got a, there's on each side of this cover, I probably covered this in the original video. It's been such a long time I forgot. You see these metal brackets on all sides, but all sides but this one. That's where the ports are, the HDMI and Ethernet and all that other stuff. So we'll just put that right back on there. All right, so the DVR mode should be enabled, so if you're just joining us, you can rewind the video. You haven't missed very much. I'm just gonna slap this back together real quick, button this up, and then we're gonna run crystal disk info on there. And I'll just grab the flash drive I used from yesterday where I put the file so I can bring that up. So let's go ahead and plug power back in, and we're gonna plug the HDMI cable back in right here. Either one of those should work equally well. Let me put you back on the video input on the, here, hold on a second. Okay, everything should be happy there. Let me go re-enable the audio there. Okay, so you know what, let me go back to the main camera again. So here I've got my little flash drive, and I'm gonna plug this in because it should have crystal disk info on there. Do I have a free USB port? I do. This has 3 USB ports. I'm using one for the keyboard, one for the mouse, and then of course there's one up here in the front, which I'll use. And let me go back to this mode here, and should be able to grab the right mouse this time. There it is. Oh, my screen is so tiny I can hardly see anything. You guys can see it better than I can. Okay, crystal disk, where is it? Crystal disk mark. All right, let's do crystal disk info first. Let's see how many times this thing's been powered on and how many hours it's got on there. Holy smokes. So we're looking at It's only been powered on 23 times. How can that be right? And the hours is, well, what it says there, it's too small for me to read. I can't believe 23 cannot be right. Does that say 23? There's no way it's been only powered on 23 times in 5 years. That's definitely not right. But the drive is healthy. You'll see there's nothing wrong with it. It's got 1,920 days and 13 hours of time on it, if that's accurate. And let's run Crystal Diskmark on it. Let's take Crystal Diskmark Portable and see what the speed is on this thing. As I recall, it was considered pretty fast 5 years ago, but I don't know how it compares to SATA 3 M.2 drives, let alone, I don't even want to think about NVMe drives. And we'll see how that goes here in just a moment. Oh, it's really good. Does she run it all the time? No, she doesn't use it very often. She uses it a few days a week. Although when it was new, she used to use it a lot more often. I got her an Amazon Fire tablet, and she uses that a lot, and then she dropped it and broke it, and then I upgraded her to a new Fire tablet the following Christmas. But anytime she's got to do emails, or she's got to do, she does stuff for like Gold Canyon candles, and she has to place orders and such for her customers. She'll use the computer to do that. She can't do that on the tablet, and stuff like that. She doesn't use it as much as she used to. The little sticker that we got with it, where we took a picture of the dog and put it on there, that's held up really well over time. You can't even notice any wear or fading or anything on that. And I can pick it up and move it like this because there's no moving parts inside except perhaps the cooling fan. If you noticed, I also released a video earlier today, and that's a video of the interactive build that I've been working on. And what's really important for people to get, and I was really hoping a lot of people will catch on to it, is we build each system 15 different ways. Basically, when you make decisions on the interactive build, Mitch responds in the order of part selection. And when you look at how Mitch installs the parts, only the parts you selected previously are already installed. Any parts you haven't selected are not installed, and every part you have selected is installed. That means we have to film 15 different ways. We have to rebuild the motherboard 15 times. We have to rebuild the Intel board 15 times, and then we have to build the case, how many times? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 times on the case. And then we get into the wiring. It's a whole other thing. So I encourage all of you to go and try every option and do it in a different order, because there are different jokes. And while some of the close-ups and explanations are shared, the introductions and the outros, many of which are unique depending on the order in which you select. So we could have done it a lot easier. We could have just taken, and shown an M.2 drive going installed and just cut to it. But then what's the point? If I want it to, basically for a novice builder, somebody who can follow along precisely. And we're going to throw a 1070 in there, so it'll be a respectable gaming machine, both budget line and an Intel Core i5-8400 with a Ryzen 2400G. They're about the same as far as performance, and really ideal for gaming machines. And it'll be a respectable gaming machine. It's not going to be the best gaming machine ever, but it also will be a lot better than what you could find for a similar price for many of the big box builders. So anyway, I do encourage you, do check out the interactive video if you haven't yet, and please watch the details. Watch how everything you previously selected will automatically appear in the background, or if you look on the sides of the motherboard or the case, whatever you previously selected is installed. Anything you haven't selected yet is not installed. It's a very fine detail that I was hoping people were going to notice. A couple of people have picked up on it, but more people aren't even noticing. I think people go through it and they go, okay, it works, but You're missing out on many of the jokes if you don't go through it other ways. Anyway, check it out. What are the specs on the NUC? That's a good question. It's been such a long time. Let's run, as soon as this is done, we'll run CPU-Z on it. I think I've got CPU-Z on there, and we can see what the specs are. So you can see the drive performance, you know, it's definitely not SATA 3, because we'd be going on the top numbers, we'd be going at 550 on the left and probably close to 500 on the right on a good SATA-based M.2 drive. But, you know, she's not using this for gaming. She's using this to do email and to do web forms and things and place orders. And you see how fast it boots. It's definitely worth what we paid for it. I'm very happy with it. And everything, all the parts that were selected to go in, the memory, the Wi-Fi card, the RAM has all been solid. Nothing has had to be warranted ever. Nothing was DOA. The biggest complaint was that Intel didn't include the power cord. I checked on the box that it came in that plays the Intel tune, and I guess the battery must have died. So that was worth saving. All right, so CPU-Z, here we go, right here. I don't need the latest, this is be good enough. So here's the specs of the system right here, but it's too far for me to be able to read it, so I have to come up closer. So it's an Intel, did it say it's a Core i3? I thought it was an i5, but maybe it was an i3 now that I think about it. 3217U, running at, well, right now it's running at 1800. What was the speed on this? The turbo. Oh, it's at 1.8 gigahertz. Okay, that's its spec. It's I think it's just dual core if I'm not mistaken. And then for RAM, I know I loaded it with a lot of memory here. Let's see. Yeah, it's DDR3, 16 gigs of memory. The speed on that is what is that? 1600 speed, something like that. I can't. It's just too far away. Yeah, 12800. So I think that's 1600. Anyway, that's it. So it's been running very reliably. It's dead silent. You can't even hear it. I've had no heat issues with it. I've had I don't know how to explain it to you. I've had zero problems with it. So the point of the review is, or the follow-up review is to say, you know, if you're considering buying a NUC, it seems like Intel builds them well based on this one. Now, unless I have 1,000 of them that are in use every day, I can't really give you a real overall opinion of reliability, but I can tell you from anecdotal evidence of what I've personally experienced on this one unit that was randomly sent to me that I paid for. So in other words, I didn't get anything special. Intel didn't know I was doing this. I bought it and made the video, and my wife uses it and relies on it when she needs it. And based on that, after 5 years, I definitely think it owes us nothing. If it were to die tomorrow, I don't think I would feel ripped off. And it's got a lot of life left in it. We still haven't upgraded it, obviously, to Windows 10 yet, but we've got another 1.5 years before we have to worry about that. Windows 7 expires in January of 2020, so probably sometime in October next year, October of 2019, I'll probably upgrade it to Windows 10. For all Windows 7 and Windows 8 users, well, I shouldn't say for all, for most, your product key will work on a Windows 10 installation. But what you want to do is you want to install Windows 10 without a product key if you're going to do a clean install. And I've shown how to do that. In fact, I did it yesterday. And then after you've installed it, then activate it and use your Windows 7 or Windows 8 product key. It should activate. Okay, so that's it. That's the update. I wanted to let everybody know, you know, just to follow up with it. I really wanted to follow up with it on April 20th of every year, but the scheduling is just too complicated for me to be able to, at least at this point, to dedicate that date every year for a follow-up review. But I'm not planning on getting rid of it anytime soon. I mean, it's a good little machine, so if you're thinking about buying a NUC, I think it's a safe purchase. So, what questions you guys have for me? We'll do some questions here and then we're going to wrap it up. Carrie, I've been testing your beta video, which is only for boys, either fanboys or Intel fanboys or AMD fanboy. Fanboy is an expression. A fanboy doesn't refer to gender, it refers to an attitude. So you're taking it too literally. All right, let me just scroll back through some of the comments, see what I might have missed here. Douglas Bigger says his Gigabyte Bricks system has been reliable as well. So the Bricks is a bit larger than this, a bit taller, and it was Gigabyte's, in fact, I think they still sell them, competition to the NUC, but the NUC was out first and then Gigabyte followed with theirs. And I've never used one, but I did see them at CES many years ago, and they just weren't as small as the Intel. They didn't look as well built. They didn't feel as solid. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It was just my first impression from seeing it on a table and picking it up and feeling it. Have I checked out ASRock's Desk Mini similar to form factor? No, because this form factor now is called Mini STX and you can build one yourself, but this is before all that happened. This was the first. That's why it was so significant for me to buy it and review it. And then if you want to build your own Mini STX system, just do a search for Mini STX parts. And you don't have to go with any particular manufacturer. You don't have to buy a pre-built machine. You can buy just the case and then and the motherboard you want and put it all together. Somebody said it's expensive. It really isn't expensive, especially when you consider price per day. If you calculate out how much this has cost me every day for the last 5 years, and it's May, June, July, August, 5 years and 4 months, how many days is that? Divided by the amount of money it cost, and then your price per day it's got to be pennies. And every day it continues to work, its price continues to go down. People often look at the main price and they determine if something's expensive or not without determining its value. And I think that's not a proper way to evaluate something. Sometimes more expensive things are a waste of money, and sometimes more expensive things have more value. For example, if you bought a Rolex watch, you might say that's expensive. But if you turned around and sold that Rolex watch a few years later for more than you paid for it, you might realize that expensive wasn't necessarily a negative thing. You could have also bought a Casio watch for $12 and then a couple years later have a broken watch, or certainly a watch that nobody would want to buy from you for any amount of money because they don't hold up well, generally speaking. And it's just something to consider. But it's not for me to tell you how to spend your money. To each his own. Let's keep looking through the comments here. Patrick says, I love the interactive video. Great job. Thank you, Patrick. I appreciate that. And Robert also says he enjoyed the video. Kian Chen says, I have 32 gigs of DDR4 and an NVMe M2 in my NUC. Well, you've got a newer NUC than I do. Sounds nice though. It sounds fast, but this isn't slow or sluggish at all, as you witnessed. What else? If the Logitech mouse and keyboard are wireless, you can bind them to the same receiver. I talked about this yesterday, so thank you for repeating what I've already said, but you didn't say it correctly. Not all Logitech wireless receiver units are programmable. You have to find one with a little orange star. And this keyboard is made by Microsoft, and this mouse is made by Logitech, so there's no way to pair them together. And the Logitech just didn't make a small keyboard my wife liked as much as the Microsoft keyboard. And they both are battery misers. They're very easy on batteries. I don't know when I change the batteries in either one of these things. They just last a long, long time. So that's why there's two separate wireless dongles. I much prefer to use one wireless dongle and pair a keyboard and mouse together. And if you've been watching my videos, you've seen me go through about 4 or 5 sets of keyboard and mouse combinations. and I don't like any of them. I keep coming back to this jelly comb, or going back to the original Logitech setup I had, which is a little large for my preferences. But yeah, not all Logitech devices are going to have that receiver. So just bear that in mind, and if it's something you're watching for, be careful of information you get on the internet, because like this person, they don't often fully comprehend what they've said, or they don't either they don't realize they left out critical information, or they just didn't know. So be very cautious and do your own research, because money, I'm assuming you work hard for it, and I want you to make your own decisions and do your own research. I don't want you to get burned buying a Logitech mouse and a Logitech keyboard that are not programmable because you read somewhere that, you know, somebody online said you could do it. I also don't want you to buy a Western Digital NVMe drive that runs at half the speed for almost the same price as one that runs at, you know, twice the speed or 60% faster. So that's what I'm here to do for you, is to just help guide you to make your own decisions that are right for you, and encourage you to take the information that you glean from me and to research it and investigate it further if it's of interest to you. And I would advise you to not to take any information directly without research from any entity at all, ever. Whether it's a salesman, an article online, a video, even a close friend. You really need to do your own research. Otherwise, you only have yourself to blame if you're not happy and you have buyer's remorse, or realize that you've purchased the wrong thing, or you spent too much money, or the thing you've purchased doesn't fit your needs, or it doesn't work the way somebody told you online it's supposed to work, because they were referencing something that they didn't distinguish from other things. So just be aware of that, and just watch out for yourselves out there. All right, so Patrick says, appreciate your hard work, Harry, in making the interactive video. Now get that director's chair. Sharon Idle says she's made a donation via TechVets. Thank you for the contribution, Sharon. I do appreciate that. Rolly Cata says, hello from Miami. Tech Baron says, 9 GPU Zotac rig dual PSU. I don't know what that's all about. Christopher Raybone says he loves the interactive build. It's great. Thank you, Christopher. Prices on NVMe drives have really come down. Yes, and price on RAM has come down a lot. It's down. 16 gigs of RAM was costing near $190, and now it's not unusual to pick it up for $140, $150. So the price of DDR4 memory, at least as far as getting 2 sticks of 8 gig, has dropped. In fact, since I bought the parts to do the interactive video just about a month ago, the price on the RAM that I purchased dropped $25 last I checked. And I think the NVMe drive price dropped another $20 too. So if I would have waited 30 days to buy the parts, I could have saved $50 just on those 2 parts, but then I wouldn't have a video. And of course, NVIDIA's graphics cards, the new graphics cards to the latest generation should be out very, very soon. And when that happens, we can expect price dips on the current 10 series when the 11 series comes out any day now. Roger says the interactive video looks cool. Thank you, Roger. We have put so much time and effort into that. You have to understand, Mitch is not a technical guy. So if I tell Mitch I need him to say that this is an EVGA 400 watt, you know, whatever it is, 80 plus bronze, that doesn't make any sense to him. He's not a nerd. So these are just gibberish words, and it's hard for him to get them in the right order or with the right tone of voice. And so we have to keep reshooting over and over and over again until we get that done correctly. So sometimes when we do cutaways to product shots, it's because we gave up and we had to write it down and have him read it. But he does a really, really good job. I think his delivery is dead on. He talks nice and slow, unlike me. And it's not intended really for you guys, because you guys all know how to build computers. This is intended for your friends and your parents and other people that you might know in your life that have a computer but have no idea how to put one together. And perhaps they've seen other build videos, even my own, and thought this is still a little overwhelming. So by breaking it down step by step and letting the viewer choose which they want to install first, it really emphasizes the ease with which it all goes together. And bearing in mind that when the video kicks off, when it's completed, the viewer will have the choice. Do you want to start with prepping the case first, or do you want to start with prepping the motherboard first? And then based on the decisions the viewer makes, the whole video changes directions and interweaves so that it really emphasizes the simplicity of the process and hopefully reduces any anxiety or concern of the person investing the money to build a system. And ideally will be a humorous, entertaining, and educational experience. And I do hope that people will watch the video over and over and over, making different decisions. So rather than trying to get more views from more viewers, I want to get more views from the viewers I already have. It's just trying to say, basically what I do is I go, look, everybody on YouTube's all doing it this way, so my instinct is to go that way. So if everybody wants more subscribers, why do they want more subscribers? To get more views. Why can't you get more views from the subscribers you already have? So making an interactive video where the viewer can go back and make different decisions and see different outcomes and hear different jokes and see different reactions, that entices them to watch the video multiple times, which ultimately has the same end result as adding more subscribers. And beyond that, everybody makes videos mostly the same. The idea to give the viewer the opportunity to interact, as far as I know, it's never been done on YouTube before, on any subject ever. That's the very first, world's first. It's never been done. And again, it's just about saying, okay, everybody's doing it this way, so I want to go that way. That's if you really get to know me, you can predict what I'm going to do. All you have to do is look at what everybody else is doing, and you'll know I'm not doing that. You may not know what I'm going to do, but it's definitely not going to be what everybody else is doing. It doesn't mean it's better, but it's definitely my way. So I hope you appreciate the complexity of that video. We could have made it a lot easier. We could have just filmed each piece going in and then just pointed you to whatever piece you want to watch. And we could have filmed that in 2 days and been done with it. But I just thought, if we're going to do this, let's do it the best we can. Let's make something that I want to watch, basically is what it is. And then I thought, you know, why should we do it just for AMD? Well, let's do it for Intel, so that way I don't get accused of, well, you never build AMD, or now you're building AMD and now you're ignoring Intel. So now you can make the decision without any judgment. You can build AMD or you can build Intel. It only changes 2 parts. And that's also part of the lesson to teach a novice, is that look how easy this is. We're going to use the same RAM, the same case, the same power supply, the same M.2 drive. Everything's the same, whether you're building Intel or AMD. The only thing we're changing is the motherboard and the CPU. And in both cases, the CPU comes with its own heatsink, which is obviously a little different, but it's included. So just 2 parts, motherboard and CPU. Otherwise, this whole argument about Intel versus AMD is stupid as far as I'm concerned. Buy what you want to buy. Don't care what anybody else says, right? Fanboy, shill, they can say all the words they want. They just jelly. Carrie's gonna put cashews on pizza. Might be a little crunchy. Okay, let me just look back and see if I've missed any other comments here real quick, and we can wrap this up, unless you get me started on something. Heavy Sonic Jeffrey says hello. Guido Languini, that sounds like a real name, says, hello, greetings from Australia. I've just built my own system. Your build videos have helped me a lot. Keep up the good work, mate. Well, thank you. What's my opinion on GDDR6 memory? I'll let you know when I see some. Let's see. What happened to the Threadripper? Nothing's happened to the Threadripper. It's on the floor of my office. It's sitting on the floor. It's exactly in the same condition it was in the last time I filmed it, which is the cable management's waiting on it and the naming ceremony is waiting on it. It's tough when you're getting split into 20 different directions at the same time, and I just have to make the time and prioritize to get that done. I haven't even powered it on, nothing. It's just sitting there. So, yeah, I don't want to wait too long on that. Don Beverly says the interactive build is way cool. Thank you, Don. I love that so many of you are getting it. I got a handful of people that don't get it, but that's okay. I mean, I think that's going to be true for any video. Let's see. Harry Baldwin's contributed $2.21, and he says, thanks for your review. Well, thanks for your contribution, Harry. I do appreciate it. I've mentioned before, the value, a lot of people don't realize the very tiny amount of money that YouTube pays creators. Only the really big creators, I'd say, with 1 million or more subscribers, really generate any revenue worth having. I mean, that make an impact. I guess all revenues are having. But, you know, even Jay's 2 cents talked about it. He can't survive on the YouTube revenue. Even with the number of subscribers that he's got, there has to be other revenue streams. And I don't really want to sell merchandise. I don't want to sell hats and things. I got the case badges, and I've been avoiding sponsorships. I am trying to twist AData's arm and hopefully see if they'll sponsor the interactive build video, because I'm going to have to reshoot it. That M.2 drive from Western Digital, I can't recommend it. And I only found out yesterday its performance, well, I did the video yesterday about the performance comparison of that Western Digital NVMe versus the other Western Digital NVMe. And I think the AData is a better value overall. And if I can use AData RAM and AData NVMe, and maybe we can put an AData logo back here, maybe they can help absorb those costs, and then I'm not so pressured for getting the funds together. Remember, Mitch isn't getting paid a penny. So ideally, if money comes in, then I'll split that with Mitch. Mitch is spending 6 hours a day here, 4 days a week, working on this video. We get 4 minutes done every day, 4 minutes of completed video in 6 hours. So I really want to give Mitch something, but if the video doesn't generate any revenue, or it doesn't generate enough, it doesn't even cover the cost of production. So if I can get AData to step in and step up, it'd be good sponsorship for them. It'd be a unique video. Only they would be they would be the sole sponsor. Because you know me, I don't like sponsors. I'm making an exception here because I'm liking what I see from AData, quite frankly. And to the best of my knowledge, AData doesn't sponsor stuff. You know, they'll send you some parts, but they don't send you money. Maybe I can convince them to change that. If not, I'm not asking anybody else. I'm not going to send the video to ASRock. I'm not going to send it to a Gigabyte. I'm not even going to, I just don't have time to go knocking on doors and go, hey guys, you know, Jay's 2 cents, he's got a guy that does that. That's all he does full time, is he finds like-minded sponsors they think would be a good fit for the channel, and he's a salesman. I'm not a salesman. I just want to make video content I want to watch. And I hope I have a lot of viewers that like to watch the same things I do. That's pretty much what it amounts to, but somebody's got to pay for it. You know, everything costs money, unfortunately, and there's some political stuff that happens because I'm filming in the kitchen in my house, and that creates a rift in the relationship sometimes. So, yeah, it's just not like flipping on a cell phone and saying, hi, how you guys doing? Bye. It's a lot more involved and a lot more expensive than that. But I do appreciate everybody who's watching, and especially all the people who've watched over the years, and the new viewers I'm getting that are going to continue to watch me years from now, new loyal not only subscribers, but viewers. The Twitter handle's up and running. It's the Kerry Holzman. The Kerry Holzman is the Twitter handle if you want to follow me. Anytime I post a new video, it'll go out on the Twitter feed just in case your subscription notifications are not working. I want to make sure everybody has an opportunity. I'm not really checking Twitter. It's not a good way to check or to contact me. The best way to reach out to me if you have any questions or you want to talk to me is you submit a donation. When you submit a donation of any amount, I always respond and say thank you, not using Super Chat, but using the TechVets website or the donation link in the video description below all my latest videos. Once you have that response from me, you've got my email address, you have my attention. If you're somebody who doesn't donate, if you're just a viewer, that's great. I appreciate you viewing. But because so many people do contribute, I'm getting pulled in like I say, lots of different directions. And there's, 70 hours of work I've got to do in a 24-hour day, and I've got to sleep and eat during that 24-hour day. So all I'm trying to do is make sure that the people who have given me something, no matter how big or how small, I want to make sure that they have the ability to reach out and talk to me. And that's how the process works. I give the videos for free. If you want something more than that, give me something, and then back and forth we'll go. That's just a very simple, fair way, and it's the only way I can do it, because there is only one of me and I have very limited time, and I have computers to fix and a household to run and videos to make, and I can go on and on, but trust me, I'm not bored. Right? So I hope you understand that. It's the only fair way I can think of to handle it. So at tech-vets.com, there's a donate button. Any donation amount, I'm going to send you a thank you email. Once you've got that thank you email, you can respond to it with any comments or questions directly to me. I will see it and respond. Everybody else, it's pretty random. If it's a name I've never seen, if it's somebody who's just consuming content and they want more from me, that's wonderful. I appreciate it, but I just don't have time to individually address everybody like that. Like I say, I prioritize who I'm responding to based on value. So on that, somebody's recommending people buy my book. I wouldn't buy my book. It's obsolete. It would be like buying old bananas. Don't buy my book. I don't make any money if you buy my book. That's McGraw-Hill, and it's obsolete. So you're not really supporting me by buying my book. You're supporting McGraw-Hill. Real quick look here. Oh, today, right now, you can buy, hold on, let me get it. I was telling you guys that I bought these A-Data. We were just talking about A-Data. Okay. Are you sitting down? Are you sitting down? If you're in the United States, today, I think it's today only, this is darn near 1 terabyte. You can buy this today. There's a discount code. It's $127 for almost 1 terabyte SSD. This is a 2.5-inch drive, just like it's on the picture. 960 gigabytes. Super fast read and write speeds, very comparable in many ways to the Samsung option. Samsung's a little bit faster. Not sure what the warranty is on this. I haven't seen an SSD fail yet. So you guys can look that up, but on Rakuten.com today with the discount code, today only, as far as I know, $127. Now I'm not getting any money from this. There's no affiliate link. A-Data, I'm not talking to A-Data. They don't know I'm doing this. I'm doing this for you. If you want a good deal on a spacious, capacious SSD that's got fast read and write speed, that's a good value for the dollar, this is it right here today, $127. I bought 2 of these when they were $134 2 weeks ago, and they're still new in the box. They haven't taken out of the box yet, and they're already at $127. Well, today only. Let me get you a link to that. The link is, I'll have it here in just a second, folks. I have to find, where did the link go? I think it's on PCgamer.com. in their news item, if I'm not mistaken. Oh man, where is it? Because I want to tell you what the discount code is. There's a whole article on it. I just had it. Just a minute, I will find it. There it is. All right. We put this link in the chat room for you guys. Like I say, this has the this has the discount code there. Let's say A data. This is an SU 650. Oh, you know what? I'll just grab the headline of the article. Let's just do that. We'll copy that and I'll put it in the video notes right now. And then I'll put a link to the article that I just put in the chat room. I'm putting that in the video notes, so that'll be there. Be interesting what the price is going to be in another 2 weeks. It keeps dropping. It's a fantastic deal. In fact, there was a limit, a purchase limit of just 2 of these when I bought it. And I bought 2 because I thought I better grab that. It's not like it's going to go bad. I don't have to use it anytime soon. And yeah, so anyway, that's been updated now. So $127 for basically a terabyte, 2.5-inch solid state drive with excellent read and write performance. A very respectable drive. Again, I'm just digging A data right now. They're, even if they don't want to sponsor the video, even if they can't or they won't, it doesn't change anything. It'd be nice if that all worked out. Okay. And one more check on the comments, and we're going to wrap this up. Roger says 1 terabyte SSDs were $300 1 year ago. Yeah, this is true. I think what's happening is they're moving from 3-bit storage to 4-bit storage, and they want to. These are probably getting depreciated very quickly to make room for, as they tool the factory for the 4-bit version, the 4-bit technology. And we'll see how that plays out with regards to generally the number of write cycles is reduced the more levels of bits they add. But again, I haven't seen one fail, so I don't know yet. Dracus said, I just bought your mini leaf blower. Yeah, I put a link to this in the video notes. One of the dumbest things I've ever seen. I had to have it. XBlitz15 says, my Kingston SSD died after 2 years. Yeah, I don't use Kingston SSDs, so there's a reason why I choose the manufacturers I choose. Now, that's not to say that all Kingston SSDs are less reliable, but I haven't seen a bad SSD from any of the manufacturers that I've selected for my customers or myself. And I don't use Kingston, and I don't use Mushkin. I've used 1 or 2 Mushkins, but I only do that for customers that have very strict budget concerns, budget restrictions. And I let them know that, it's not the best performing drive, and I really don't have any long-term experience with them, so I don't know how they traditionally hold up. But they should be okay, and as long as you have a backup of all your data, you just replace the drive. The drives are getting cheaper anyway, so you can get a faster drive. If you have a 2-year-old SSD now, maybe the best thing that could happen is it fails, because now you can get a bigger, faster drive to replace it. And pay attention to those warranties. Sometimes the cheaper drive is cheaper because the warranty is less. Sometimes it's cheaper because the performance is less. Sometimes it's cheaper because the performance and the warranty are less. So It's a lot to consider beyond price. It's about what you're getting for the price, and they're all not the same. They all don't play by the same rules. They all don't have the same level of support. They all don't have the same performance. They all don't have the same drive utilities or usefulness of the drive utilities. And you just can't go an SSD as an SSD any more than you can say a car is a car. There's lots of different kinds of cars. There's Jeeps and vans and wagons and SUVs and trucks. There's electric vehicles, hybrid vehicles, gas, diesel, four-wheel drive, two-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. There's four-seaters, two-seaters, convertibles. Do I need to keep going? So there's no one car fits all. You have to know a little bit about cars. You have to know a little bit about what your needs are, what's important to you, what your budget is, if mileage is important, if ecology is important, economy, power, insurance prices, warranty. That's something you have to do. Plenty of people on the internet can tell you should buy XYZ, but if they don't know you and they don't know your needs, why should you take that advice? It's your money, and if that's how you spend it, that's your business. But I couldn't possibly spend my hard-earned money solely based on what somebody on YouTube says. Absolutely not. But I will take that information, I'll run with it, and I'll go and compare reviews online and do my own research. And if there's an opportunity for a test drive of any particular hardware, started losing my car analogy here, but I don't ever let my customers be guinea pigs unless my customers insist on being guinea pigs. And that does happen, where a customer will say, I want to have this particular thing. And I'll say, well, I can't recommend that. And they'll say, well, what do you recommend usually? And I say, well, I recommend this. And then they'll sometimes say, yeah, but I still want to do my thing. And I'll say, okay. And, I just want you to know the reason why I don't want to do it is for this. And if you understand that, I'm fine with building it. And as far as I know, it's always worked out fine. I'm just extra cautious because I've got to protect the reputation of my business. And I don't want anybody feeling they've ever been ripped off or shortchanged or in any way have anything negative to say about the service I provide. And when you're a small business, every good customer matters. The bad customers, I don't need those. Good riddance to them. One of the reasons why it's taking Mitch and I a full 6 hours to get 4 minutes is I'm editing the video as we film it. What that means is I tell Mitch, okay, I need you to say this line, and now I need a close-up. So we move all the cameras, we adjust all the lighting, and I get the close-up that I need. And I might feel like, okay, the close-up didn't last long enough and he's still talking or narrating on top. So let's get a different angle. Let's think of another way to film this. I get the skate out, I get the roller out, I got to focus it and practice it till I get that shot. And there's a couple more seconds, right? And then we come back and then it feels a little redundant because perhaps it's the same camera shot we had before. So we move the camera and get a nice close-up on Mitch if Mitch is just speaking or he's holding a part, we'll get a nice close-up so you can see that. And we just don't want this shot, this big shot. I don't want this constantly like you guys see on the live feed. I want to keep shifting the shot angles, and every time I do that, it means moving the tripod, stopping the production, lining things up, focusing things, adjusting. You've got to tilt, you've got light, you've got focus, and then Mitch has to say the words right. He has to keep saying it until he gets it right, and then I take that when he gets it right, and I put it into the editor, and I go, okay, that looks good. Now I need this shot next. We move the cameras, we move the lights. 6 hours, 4 minutes. But those 4 minutes are done. I would like to replace all the insert shots. Anytime that I have like an insert shot of a product that doesn't move, it just stays on the screen while Mitch talks. My goal is to go back and replace those with moving shots. Even if the camera's slowly zooming in, or if I can twist it around, or put it on a green screen and put a background behind it, and just liven it up a little bit to keep it moving, all that takes lots and lots of more time. And then I have to go back and re-edit it and inject it in the exact frame from frame to frame so that you would never know as a viewer that was done, weeks after the initial shoot. But ideally, the concept was to just film and edit linearly as we progress. And this helps prevent any confusion with regards to any steps that might be missing or the order of what video leads to what video. Because if we do it linearly based on do this, then this, then this, then we don't miss anything that way. So it's a very simple yet time-consuming way of filming. And I've never done it this way before, and I'm really enjoying the creativity of it. Everything is scripted the day of shooting. And we bounce ideas, Mitch and I bounce ideas off each other, and we try different things and see what works. And it's all very organic. And there's, like I say, there's no script. It's all based on where it organically leads us. All right, guys, so the link to the original NUC, this video where I built this little NUC from 5 years ago, okay, in April of 2013. That's in the video notes below. If you've never seen the video, check it out. All the original parts I put in are still in there as I showed you. It's still performing exactly as it always has been. You've seen the boot up time, you've seen all of that. You've witnessed it firsthand. It has been a good, reliable computer. All the spec information and everything is on the original video in the link in this video. And this is just another follow-up review. 5+ years, still going strong. It's still fast. It's in no way sluggish or obsolete. It doesn't need to be replaced. I'm sure Windows 10 will go on it just fine, and it will, I'm presuming, will continue to run another 5 years before we really have to replace it. I'm making an assumption that technology isn't going to change drastically over the next 5 years. But if the technology continues to evolve at the pace it's been, I think this thing's got a 10-year lifespan before it needs to be replaced, if not very close to 10 years. And even then, I think it'll just be replaced, not because it's not working, but because the OS will become too cumbersome, the antivirus will become too resource intensive, and the machine will just become sluggish, at least compared to a modern machine. That's my theory. We'll see how it plays out. But so far, we're more than halfway there, and it runs just as good today as it did 5 years ago. No difference, no change of parts, no problems, no warranty issues, no RMAs, no DOAs. Everything is solid on that. Intel doesn't pay me to say this. I was hard on Intel for some of the decisions they made, but you know what? I'm harsh, but direct. My candor is to just be to cover every angle I can cover in the most objectified. Is it objectified or subjective? Objective. I want it to be objective, not subjective. I'm trying to cover. Excuse me while I learn the English language. I want it to be as objective as possible, as unbiased and as fair and balanced from every angle, from Intel's side, from the consumer side, from the price, everything, so that I don't have my hands in the pockets of anybody. I'm looking at it from what I consider to be important to me, and from my experience in dealing with my customers, the vibe and the type of concerns my customers have. I can sort of predict what the customer is going to say, the average customer. And that's how I base my reviews, and that's how I base my direction, and that's why I don't take sponsorships, because I don't want it to affect my review, my honesty, and my perspective. With that, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you have not seen the interactive video, please check it out, and please go back through it and watch, make different choices, listen to different jokes. There's jokes that only happen once. If you don't make the right choices in the right order, you'll never hear that joke. It may not be worth it, but that's why we did it that way. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all again very, very soon. And until then, bye for now. All right, now I can hit this button.